Good evening and welcome everyone to another edition of Fridays with Friends. Today's friend, a longtime friend, a good friend, an everlasting friend from the Transformation Station in Delray, Sister Kymberly. Hi, Kim.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for asking, and I'm sure you are the same.
Good, thank you.
The title of today's talk is that we're continuing with this theme of the arts of life. And today's art of life is the art of nurturing. And as I often do so many times when we begin these sessions, I ask who I'm speaking with, when you hear that sentence, the art of nurturing, what comes through your mind?
It makes me feel safe. It feels like someone is caring for me, and it feels like a place of growth and a place where I can come to an understanding of life in a nice way and build strength, flourish, flower.
Well, I think it'd be nice to for me to share with the viewers today is that you are a professional nurturer. That as a career, you're a professional nanny, and so nurturing plays a very important role in the in your job. How important is nurturing at the early stage of life?
I think that it fosters a sense of self-worth. If a child is nurtured, they can explore their ideas and dreams and fill themselves with goodness and just really flourish.
Maybe I should ask you, this is the obvious question. What is nurturing? What does it do?
Nurturing is caring and sustaining and loving and building the foundation of something so someone is able to grow. With a seed, it's taking the seed and putting it in soil and watering and getting enough light. With a child, it's giving nice food, nice water, listening, understanding, letting them do their own little personality.
You know, you segued right into something I wanted to say. That I was thinking that you're also well known as quite the gardener, and as I refer to you as to other people, is that you take everything from seed and make it grow. What are the commonalities of and differences, or we don't even worry about the differences? Is the nurturing the same quality that you use both with plants and with children?
Well, the difference being that plants don't talk back. But yes, and I don't usually hose down the children, but but other than that, yes, it's more of a talking with and a listening to and guidance.
It just really hit me how more challenging it is. Like, in order to nurture, you have to have more qualities, because we think of nurture as being something welcome, but the one who's being nurtured doesn't always see it as a welcoming thing. And so you've had to accommodate maybe not wanting to be nurtured. I never thought of it like that. So let me ask you another question with the same theme, but now a step up. What about with adults? Is the concept of nurturing the same with adults? Or first of all, do we need to nurture others?
Well, I do believe that nurturing is an underlying to make people feel safe, but perhaps it's not the same way with grown-ups, and when we are talking with meditation and a yogi way of life, and having people from all walks of life walk through the door, there's different ways of each personality feels different ways. But I think an underlying thing that guides everyone in the space of meditation and nurturing is silence, and allowing that silence to water the soul that is the seed and enable the growth of qualities and the growth of tolerating the world that we live in.
So you were actually taking, you're moving exactly the place I was going, but a little bit ahead of me. It shows you that it was correct. Is that, I guess, nurturing the self too. It's nature, children, our peers, but mostly ourselves. So how do you view nurturing yourself?
Self-talk, a caring self-talk, listening but not judging to things that are going on the way that I see things, saying, okay, well, perhaps this way would be more beneficial. And then also spending time in silence and viewing the world, but not letting it take me.
I like the idea of nurturing myself with silence, because I normally don't think of that as being nurturing, and that makes it even seem more attractive to me, that it's a chance to self-nurture, just to be quiet, because I do realize that for myself speaking, that I value that time not, and I'm sure you understand that too, when you're on call all day for children who don't understand time out or anything like that, that you value your silence, and to give myself that space. And something else that occurred to me when you were speaking about how to nurture, that we need something different, is that word discernment that we've been hearing a lot lately. How do you view discernment with nurturing?
Well, the world we live in can be very noisy, and so to find space for silence in between the noise, and the way to do that is to find space inside. We often like places of nature and everything like that, but if we can find that silent space within and nurture, discerning that I need that time to nurture that space within, then it becomes the oasis where all nurturing can grow from, and then I can share that with others.
How do you continue to nurture, and if you're using your own practical experience, that I'm sure that you always have the true desire to nurture these young beings that are in the formative years. How do you maintain the attitude of nurturing when you're not met with cooperation?
I talk about kindness a lot. I find that they're very competitive, and I try to bring out the best ideas. I try to encourage the best in each one so that they both feel special. Their sizes are different, so trying to make the little one feel as special as the big one, and the big one not to belittle the little one, because her abilities in some things are better, but the little one's abilities in some things are better. And so I try to make the competition a little bit in the background.
Because maybe I don't know much about the early development, but perhaps empathy is not something that we naturally have, because we're so centered, that it's maybe nurturing is a process of learning something about empathy, isn't it?
I think so.
I just learned that from you now. Yeah. And again, I need the ability to discern. So there must be a balance. Like, does nurturing mean that you don't discipline?
No. uh, but we try and make the discipline something that is an understanding and learning experience rather than just a discipline. And sometimes that's challenging.
Well, and it is it okay? Let me ask you another question. Is it harder to nurture peers than it is children? You know, especially the tendency that, you know, I don't know about you, but sometimes you might think, well, you should know better than that, and maybe I withhold my nurturing because how do you continue to have that attitude?
Uh, when once again we go to the idea of meditation and seeing beyond the size of the body, the age of the body, the color of the body, and just see the being. And so in that way, nurturing is universal. But in practical terms, sometimes the little ones are more apt to listen than the ones that are the same size.
So the nurturer needs more discernment when it was more the same size. And I also had the thought as you were describing that, because just because of the size of the bodies are different, that I may be an adult, I may even be a senior citizen, but if I didn't receive the proper nurturing that a 5-year-old is supposed to have, perhaps I still have the same
feeling
problem. It needs to be nurtured to that level.
Exactly.
Isn't that something? So it really is, you know, no one's really misbehaving on purpose. Maybe it's a result of not getting the proper initial nurturing, which makes life a lot easier. So you don't have to learn the lesson at, you know, say if you're 6, but if you're 86, it's harder. It's harder to learn that lesson. Is there something that you've been thinking about in nurturing that I haven't spoken of that you'd like to share?
I think you pretty much covered everything.
All right. I feel good with that. I got something out of it. So for the, you know, oftentimes I always ask the guests, you know, we'd like to do a little meditation now. I always close with that. Could you give us a little meditation commentary of 2 to 3 minutes that kind of touch on this idea of nurturing?
Sure. I am a being of understanding. Deep within, there's an understanding of truth. And when I tap into that, I become empowered with qualities and the understanding that as humanity on this planet, we are a family. And so all of us are at different levels of understanding. And when I go within and find the silent oasis within myself, I'm able to nurture the qualities of love and compassion. And these are nurturing to all. As each one of us has the seeds of thought, when we spend time in silence, we can make those seeds beneficial for the self and beneficial for others. And so nurturing enables these qualities to grow. And as they grow, I'm able to share them with people around me, with nature, and with the world. Shanti.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Craig.
And thank you all. That brings us to a close another Friday with Friends. Bye all. Thank you, Mita. See you next time.